Sing me a song so soft and sweet.
Al Martino.
Way me back.
Sausalito on WLW. That's going to be it for the show. Stand by. Rich King in next.
Prizes awarded on this program furnished to us in exchange for advertising.
Yes. Why not? Rich in next at 3:05. I'll see you tomorrow on the final Patterson program between 3 and 6, or immediately following the baseball game, actually, about 4 to 6. Voice of the Cincinnati Reds. After broadcasting in Cincinnati, Ohio. 76 degrees at 3 o'clock.
NBC Radio News on the Hour, brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil, your best engine life preserver. Quaker State, your car to keep it running young. Now, here is John Dancy.
About 15,000 marchers are passing slowly through the streets of Memphis, Tennessee, the city where Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. was assassinated a year ago. Senator Edward Kennedy will address a memorial service when the crowd reaches the Memphis City Hall later today. In Atlanta, Mrs. King paid a quiet visit to the gravesite of her husband and spent the rest of the day in seclusion. Last night, she was visited by Health, Education, and Welfare Secretary Robert Finch, who delivered a personal letter from President Nixon. There were memorial services in a number of cities around the nation today, including Chicago, where services in several high schools yesterday spilled over into the streets in a night of disturbances. National Guardsmen were pulled off the streets of Chicago today and stationed in their armories as rain cooled the situation that threatened to erupt into a riot yesterday. Brigadier General Richard Dunn, Commandant of the troops, told reporters,
"Things are very quiet at the moment. The rain, of course, has had a depressing effect, and we're optimistic about the situation."
Do you intend to have your men out on the streets of Chicago today?
Not unless the situation requires it, and at the moment it doesn't look as though it would.
A curfew and a ban on sales of liquor, firearms, and gasoline in portable containers remains in effect. So do plans for an anti-Vietnam War march through the Loop tomorrow, despite a suggestion from Governor Richard Ogilvie that the march be canceled. More on the Chicago situation in a moment. First, this from Quaker State.
Quaker State, your car to keep it running young.
Ever notice that oil can with the racing flag? It's Quaker State racing oil, and it handles big-power passenger cars with the same ease it handles America's hottest racers. In today's powerful engines, oil can thin out fast at high speeds, leave delicate engine parts unprotected. But Quaker State racing oil keeps your engine completely lubricated, resists thinning and foaming at high temperatures, refined only from 100% pure Pennsylvania-grade crude oil. It exceeds every car maker's warranty demands. Raceway or throughway, there's one oil for them both. Quaker State Racing Oil.
Quaker State your car to keep it running young. Quaker State your car.
Again, John Dancy.
It was disclosed today that the federal government was keeping a close eye on the Chicago situation last night. NBC News correspondent Carl Stern reports from Washington.
Justice Department has revealed that its civil disturbance unit went into action last night on reports of the Chicago disorders. Attorney General Tom Mitchell and his top aides remained in the building late into the night as reports came into the center by telephone and teletype. The unit, established during the 1967 disturbances, monitors trouble spots and provides intelligence on where federal help might be needed. It's believed that federal agents operating under